Good morning, everyone. Need that coffee to wake up. I want to thank everybody so much for the information you've been sending me. I've got some news and updates on things, that are of interest. And first thing is, I'm keeping tabs on the town of Ramapo and the JW Media Center. And I noticed they have a website now separate from everything else just for the media center. So if you go to jw-avcenter.org and you'll see the home page, features, comparisons, project team. Project team tells all the contractors and subcontractors that are going to be working on this. Now when you click on comparisons, it says in 2007 a site plan and zoning area were approved for an active adult community on the site. The proposed project significantly improves upon that approved plan. And when you go and look at this, from the original plan submitted, like it says land, smaller footprint. The overall extent of land disturbance for the proposed project are 73% of the previously approved project. So, they're going through all of this, how it's going to be so much better, land area, forest retention. See, they're trying to be more green. The proposed project preserves 2.91 more acres of old forest than the previously approved development. Smaller community, 231 less bedrooms. The previously approved project had 876 bedrooms across 292 structures, while the proposed project has 645 bedrooms across 10 structures. So they're trying to make this more, world friendly, more green, that they're not going to be disturbing the environment as much as originally proposed. Transportation. The previously approved project was entirely residential, thus traffic would be generated for employment. This project is a live-work campus, thus traffic is greatly reduced with traffic limited to off-peak times. Public visits will be booked in advance with the neighboring facility in Orange County so as not to create any additional trips. That doesn't even make sense. Wow. Bridge restoration. Rather than replace this existing stone-clad bridge, it is being restored to form part of the infrastructure of the proposed project. There's a lot, features down at the bottom, and we already know that they're going as much geothermal energy as they can and solar. So I'm going to put the link down below to this website in the description, and I'm going to pin it to the top of the comments. Now, one reason I'm mentioning this is because they're going to have less bedrooms, then this makes sense. This is a website, the RCBJ, Rockland County Business Journal. Put the link down below to this. Jehovah's Witnesses purchased former Woodmont apartments on Route 17. Bible Society plans to use 7 of the 16 rental buildings to house volunteers when project is approved and built. They're buying an apartment complex. And I'm just going to read this article. The Watchtower Bible Tract Society, which is seeking permission to build a headquarters for an audio-video production center in the town of Ramapo now owns a rental housing complex on Route 17 to house its volunteers and contractors while its project is built. And we also know they were asking for RVs. This is going to be a huge project. Don't tell me it's not going to be an impact on the environment and the local community. Of course it is. Residents aren't going to like all of this going on. And we already know this Sterling Mine Road is a one-way road that residents were already complaining has too much traffic. The Society has purchased the Woodmont Hills 384-unit rental complex from Woodmont Properties for an undisclosed sum and renamed it Woodgrove at Sterlington, presuming it will get approval to build a 1.7 million square foot world headquarters of Jehovah's Witness Audio Video Production Center on 155 Sterling Mine Road, largely in Sloatsburg and partly in Tuxedo in Orange County. The order plans to occupy only 7 of the 16 rental buildings in the complex. The rest will be leased to the open market. Now, I just want to mention here that, us and Smurf Girl, got blasted over the video we had done on Watchtower Property Company. Oh, there's no proof there's a connection. Do you understand what I just read? They're buying this apartment complex, and they are not going to use all of the rental units. They are going to rent the rest out to open market. That means to the public. So if you want to say, that Watchtower Property Company has nothing to do with Watchtower. It's just a real estate leasing company. Watchtower is getting into the leasing of property to the public. Are they going to get their tax exempt status on this? Going on. We bought the property with the goal of reserving the empty buildings to support the project on Sterling Mine Road, said spokesman and project architect Keith Caddy. Caddy said he expects the project to span 4 years beginning in 2022. They're not planning on Armageddon coming anytime soon. So while they tell you rank and file members to simplify, Armageddon is here, we're probably in the Great Tribulation right now with this pandemic. They're planning on real estate and building projects for the next several years. The 168 units, he said, will house the order's volunteers and contractors. When the project is complete, the complex will be sold and the tenants will move on, Caddy added. And it makes me wonder how many of the tenants that are now in there are going to be evicted to make room when they get the approval on this project. Woodmont Properties, a regional real estate developer based in Fairfield, New Jersey, began building Woodmont Hills, a luxury rental apartment complex on a wooded parcel above Route 17 in 2019. The project, approved by the town of Ramapo in 2014, took a long time to come to fruition because of opposition from Sloatsburg Village residents who were concerned about traffic safety, among other issues. The property required additional work, including widening Route 17 to allay traffic concerns the developer had to replace an aging 60-inch water main that carries water to Sloatsburg Village. The developer broke ground in May of 2018, starting with the northern 34-acre portion of the 54-acre site. The society will occupy the buildings in the southern portion of the development. I can only imagine the residents of the complex will want to shop locally, partake in our restaurant, said Sloatsburg Mayor Peter Aki. Don't count on that much revenue. Though the complex is outside the Sloatsburg village boundaries, the village will be providing fire services in exchange for the purchase of firefighting equipment. See? Just make a bunch of promises of perks, and the town will bend over backwards to get you in their area. The first phase of the 384-unit Woodmont complex opened in 2020 with 9 buildings and a clubhouse in January 2020. Watchtower became a principal investor in the project, and in April 2021, the society changed the name of the entity from Woodmont Ramapo LLC to Sterling Holdings LLC. Do you guys understand what this is saying? Watchtower is very much affiliated with these development investors. See? I'll read that again. In January 2020, Watchtower became a principal investor in the project. And in April 2021, the society, Watchtower, changed the name of the entity from Woodmont Ramapo LLC to Sterling Holdings LLC. If they didn't have anything to do with this, they wouldn't have been able to change the name of the corporation. So you can see why I'm a little bit upset about this, because we're blasted. Oh, there's no proof Watchtower has anything to do with this. This is in black and white, right on the Rock County Business Journal. Doesn't take a rocket scientist. Phase 2 of the project, which includes 7 rental buildings along with the historically accurate restoration of the Smith House, pre-Civil War house on the property, is underway. Caddy says tenants in the already leased 9 rental buildings will not be affected by the new ownership. So they're going to be getting rental money from people of the world. Nothing is being changed, he said. Not the leases, not the price of the units. The religious order known as the Worldwide Order of Special Full-Time Servants of Jehovah's Witnesses is hoping to build an AV production center with audio and video production studios and facilities to support operations of the world headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses. The facilities include offices, maintenance, and set production workshops, and a central chilled hot water plant with geothermal heat recovery system. That cost a fortune. Accommodations for resident staff include 645 residential units, 545 one-bedroom and 100 studio units during assembly spaces, recreation, wellness, fitness facilities, and a clinic. The project also includes a visitor center which would welcome the public to the campus and offer Bible-related exhibits as well as exhibits on the activities of Jehovah's Witnesses. The town of Ramapo this week closed the public comment period on the proposed New World headquarters of Jehovah's Witnesses Audio-Video Production Center. The project will proceed to the town of Ramapo Planning Board. No hearing date is set. The proposal would rezone the portion of the project site within the town of Ramapo to a new MU-3 mixed-use zoning district to permit the applicant to develop an integrated residential and commercial campus. The Ramapo portion of the project site was previously subdivided into 293 lots for the Sterling Mine Road Active Adult Community, which was commonly known as the Lauderdale Project. No physical improvements were made to the property following the subdivision approval. However, the proposal requires an amendment to Ramapo's 2004 comprehensive plan to remove references to the former Lauderdale development because it is not consistent with the previous Lauderdale plan and the zoning recommendations that would have implemented that development. The religious order purchased the land in 2009 for $11.5 million. So I am going to put the link to this article. Like I said, I want to thank you, sweetie, for sending me this link to the Lanchester News in the UK. Gonna put the link down below to this one too. Now I want to mention that several years ago we did several videos about the Jodgeree homes. These are retirement homes that are affiliated with Watchtower Bible Tract Society, and it is for only baptized Jehovah's Witnesses elderly care homes. A lot of them had kingdom homes right in the home. And I'm going to put the link down below because we actually have a playlist with several videos. Now, one of these, they had let go, they were abandoned, and I mean, it was just a caca hole. I mean, it was a disgrace. They just left it full of trash, literature, and I mean, the place was just trashed. And we had found the video from some urban explorers that went into it and was going through everything. And, you know, kids do that. And so like I said, I'm going to put the list down below. If you've never heard about these Jodgeree homes, like I said, it's only for baptized JWs who are in good standing and obviously have a lot of money, because these residential homes, I mean, are very expensive. I mean, if I remember correctly, at the time, several years ago, they start at a couple of $1,000s a month. So, with that being said, here's a recent article. It's dated August 3rd, 2021. Whistleblower calls inspectors to Leyland Care Home over safety fears. I'm going to read this one too. A Leyland Care has put into special measures and must make improvements within months after serious failings were discovered in a recent inspection. Jodgeree Care Home in Leland has been slapped with an official warning notice from the Care Quality Commission after it was given an inadequate report rating on Thursday, July 29th. The care facility dedicated to Jehovah's Witnesses was deemed to be unsafe, poorly led, and unable to protect people against the risk of abuse or improper treatment. Yeah, I'm sorry, this has me riled, because these people are paying this much a month to get good care from a Jehovah's Witness run facility, and now they have the threat of abuse? Oh, good Lord. It's a good thing Mikey's not helping me with this. My goodness. During an unannounced inspection carried out in June, a myriad of safety concerns were highlighted by the government watchdog, including the failure to consistently weigh residents, report on any injuries or incidents, and adhere fully to safe COVID-19 guidelines. Well, if they're not going to protect the children, what makes you think they're going to protect the elderly? Oh, good Lord. Despite this, the care home was marked good for both the caring and responsive categories. Cleanliness was reported as a problem for inspectors who made note of soiled equipment found in the communal bathrooms at Jodgeree. The report read, risks to people's health, safety, and well-being were not consistently assessed or planned for. We reviewed 7 care files and found inconsistencies or missing information in all of them. You know, they do these videos claiming they care about the Bethel workers and have them in lockdown and care for all of their missionaries and Bethel workers and all of this. They care about them during this pandemic, but yet their nursing home is a caca hole. We found concerns with the cleanliness and maintenance of the environment. We observed staff not following good practice guidance around infection prevention and control, including the use of personal protective equipment. Oy vey. We found recruitment records were not always complete, and we have made a recommendation around this. Jodgery Care Home in Leyland is just one of several homes run by the Jodgery charity providing care to elderly people who are baptized Jehovah's Witnesses. So if you think this is apostates, half-truths, and lies, I have a bridge I want to sell you. Inspectors descended on the home on June 3rd after the CQC received concerning reports relating to quality assurance, risk management, and people's safety at the home. The government watchdog undertook a focused inspection to review these key areas, finding clear issues with all 3. During their inspection, CQC officers found that the care plan for one resident claimed that their skin was intact despite their resident having multiple areas of pressure damage, with no evidence their staff were doing anything to mitigate this risk. Another resident had consistently lost weight over a period of 5 months, while there was no documentary evidence that the home had sought to manage that risk or weigh the resident for the previous 4 months. More than a dozen other issues were also identified, including inadequate fire safety measures, an inability to manage medicine safely, and incomplete recruitment records for staff. Like I said, this is proof that they don't even take care of their own elderly, so why should they care about taking care of the children and the women who might be, victims of domestic violence? The provider had failed to protect residents against the risk of abuse or improper treatment. The CQC report read, "We found no evidence that people had been significantly harmed. However, systems were either not in place or robust enough to demonstrate safety was effectively managed." Now we know there has been a problem, during the pandemic with nursing homes or care facilities here in the United States. So, this placed people at risk of harm. The provider had failed to protect people against the risk of abuse or improper treatment. The service had procedures to minimize the potential risk of abuse or unsafe care. However, we found these were not always followed. We found incidents that had not been reported to safeguarding in line with current guidance. These included repeated falls, unexplained injuries, and a pressure injury. Jodgery was also told that they had failed to manage the risk relating to the prevention and control of infection. Big surprise. Equipment in communal bathrooms was found to be soiled while walking aids used by residents were visibly unclean. Jodgery have been handed an official warning notice by the CQC, who have also ordered the home to make several changes to their operations. The CQC says the overall rating for this service is inadequate and the service is therefore in a special measures. This means we will keep the service under review, and if we do not propose to cancel the provider's registration, we will re-inspect within 6 months to check for significant improvements. If the provider has not made enough improvement within this time frame and there is still a rating of inadequate for any key question or overall rating, we will take action in line with our enforcement procedures. This will mean we will begin the process of preventing the provider from operating this service. This will usually lead to cancellation of their registration or to varying the conditions of the registration. A spokesperson for Jodgery said, "We acknowledge the published CQC report. It has been a particularly challenging time during the COVID pandemic, and this has impacted our normal routines." Oh, good Lord. Yeah, defend yourself. "We would like to assure you that we are working closely with the relevant authorities to address the concerns raised. Any matters relating to specific individuals have been prioritized and already responded to. The ones involved and are the primary contact have been notified. Following the inspection, improvements are continuing to be implemented. With this in mind, we aim to ensure that the Leyland home returns to its previous overall good rating at a future inspection." Wow. Wow. I'll tell you, if I was the JW family, I would get their loved ones out of these Jodgery homes. Yeah. Now these Jodgery, they are in several places all over the world. You know, mostly started in the UK, but I know there's at least one or two of those homes here in the United States. And like I said, I'll put the link down below to our playlist because we've covered, you know, this Jodgery for like the past 8 years. So anyway, that's all the news I have right now. Thank you everyone for your cards and emails and phone calls. We're doing okay. Enjoying our staycation. So you all have a wonderful weekend. Bye.